Welcome. Today is, what day is this? This is the 27th. It's my brother's birthday, if anybody cares. Okay. He's not quite as old as I am, but that's okay. So it's 4 o'clock meeting, April 27th. It's a special meeting of the Valley City Commission. We'll call the meeting to order. Please join me for the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Okay, please call the roll.
President Carlsrud,
Here?
Commissioner Magnuson, Commissioner Bishop,
Here.
Commissioner Erickson,
Here.
Commissioner Gallman.
Here.
City Administrator Crawford. Here. City Attorney Martin.
Here.
All right, little nicer day today. So we'll kick things off here with Rich.
There we go. Good afternoon. I'll start with kind of the water update, I guess, forecast. Right now, before I came in, I checked, these are all the current numbers right off the official websites. Bald Hill Dam pool elevation, the lake level is 1265.62. And we are discharging approximately 4,100 CFS. We have calculated inflows of 3,300 CFS. I took a look at Warwick and it's 1,110 and it's just holding flat. You know, it's not taking any big drop. Cooperstown, 1,930 and it's holding, but it's kind of got a little bit of a curve to it, but it's still kind of holding pretty steady. Bald Hill Creek is 794 or basically 800 CFS. And yesterday, I think it was, I had a little slight rise and now it's kind of curving over, but it's still kind of hanging there. We're not seeing any large drops in river levels on the gauges. Valley City right now is at 16.26, which is about 4,400 CFS. So if you take it, there's probably local inflows between the dam and here right now of maybe 150 to 200 CFS, something like that. When we had that rain event that just fell right on top of us, it was probably upwards between 800 and 1,000 CFS. Just to, you know, think about that.
Thank you.
And there's forecasted rain, and this comes from the National Weather Service. And it's looking like it might be a 1.5 inches to 2.5 inches for this weekend event, Friday to Sunday. You know, we just got to keep an eye on that. And, you know, like I always say, things change all the time. So just keep an eye on what this rain does. The National Weather Service river forecast for Valley City is still 18.5 feet, but it's kind of pushing out now, you know, a little bit later. And it looks like that they have that for Tuesday, sometime on Tuesday. And I know there's always, you know, there's a concern about when we get to 17.5 feet, because then that starts to affect the bridges and the transportation south of town. And this is from the National Weather Service latest forecast. And it looks like sometime, you know, Monday afternoon. So that's what it shows. But, you know, everything changes. So everybody's got to remember that. They update this forecast sometimes a couple times a day, sometime once a day, and they don't send out a notice. You know, I don't get nobody does. Nobody gets a notice that rings on your phone and tells you that. So, you know, you just got to keep keep watching it. So out at Bald Hill Dam, it looks like the way we kind of run the numbers that we're getting from the Weather Service, and we're hopeful we'll be able to gain another foot of storage by the time the event happens and we start getting larger inflows. So that's good. And so the current track looks like the pool would, probably get up into that range of 1269 to 1270 using the 5 foot raised storage. And, so using just quite a bit of it. And then it looks like, Sunday, Monday would be when we would be increasing, releases, upwards between 5,000 to 5,500. It just comes down to what happens with this rain and, how the volume falls out of the sky, and then how the volume runs off the landscape. So how much and how fast. So any questions on water?
Anybody have any questions in the audience? Okay,
Okay.
thanks, Rich.
So the levees are complete, and Cattersley and Jackson have certified them at the height of 20.5. So we're ready, we're prepared. So the contractor today for Strata for themselves, they've been stockpiling clay back into their pit at the Strata yard. And I think they finished up stockpile at Mill Dam. So that's kind of what they've been doing. And we've had some more personnel come in, some geotechs, and they are walking the entire levee system right now, becoming familiar with it, so that they are ready to, respond if there are any issues. And I think the city is going to be coming up with a levee watch plan, and then, we're working together on all of that. So that's my report.
Okay, Rich, remember, excuse me, you mentioned 5 to 5,500
Yep.
CFS.
Yep.
That would equate to what river depth in town here?
18.5
That would be the
feet.
18.5, okay? And then-
5,500 plus local.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm. And would you share just a little bit, you mentioned earlier that you wanted to hold things because your considerations downstream.
Oh,
So
yeah.
do we-
Yeah, not only for the transportation system, for Barnes County, but also, with this weather system coming, there's other communities downstream, Fort Ransom, Lisbon, Kindred. And if you fill up the river too much and they get an event like we had, a flash 2 inches or something, well, they need to have a little room as well, so that they can respond. So it's, a balancing act for everyone. We have to think about everyone.
Okay,
that
any
what-
questions for Rich, guys? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Gwen,
Yeah. So now that we've had a chance to feel like we have a handle on things, we've been using this time to go back over and double checking, making sure that anything that could possibly be missed is getting, there's no issues, there's I's being dotted, T's being crossed, and we're making sure barricades are up in proper places, pumps are continuing to be maintained, and lift stations are working properly. Today, we went over possible scenarios so we can be prepared if anything does change, and basically how that contact will flow. So just basically if something happens and we hit a different level, who's going to reach out to who first and what our action kind of plan will be. And Clint kind of has more of the other information for their crew, so I'll let him do that. But Clint and Marshall's crews are moving to 8-hour shifts, but they still will be covering 24 hours a day and monitoring the levees.
hey, Clint, are you ready?
I am,
You're getting to be an old hand at this.
yes, unfortunately. No, as Gwen said, we're gonna be moving to 3 8-hour shifts, continuing to be, of course, round the clock, but they'll get some of the guys some much needed rest and family time, which they've been lacking here in the last week since really Friday. As mentioned yesterday, the couple of sluice gates we had issues with, we had contingency plans and we kind of had to use those plans. We did get a ball valve or a ball plug into one, and then we had to sandbag the other one. So we got those under control. Lift stations are keeping up. I know there's been some calls about people worried about sanitary sewers, but right now I see no cause for concern. Everything's working well. So hopefully it continues that way.
Okay,
That's all I got. If anyone has any questions.
okay. Thank you. Thank you, Clint. Sue? Okay, Jamie? Is that what you call being thrown under the bus?
Okay. So the county highway department has been working very hard to watch all structures that we are in charge of from Bald Hill south to the county line. All of you are aware of the two bridges immediately south of Valley City, at which time will be overcome with floodwaters at 17.4, I believe. Our crews continue to monitor them, complete snagging and clearing, because all of those things adversely affect the water flow through them. At this time, we're leaning heavy on Rich for direction, and we're just watching the graphs before we start to close those bridges. Unfortunately, it's not something that we want to do. It's just the reality of the situation. I do know that there's been a couple Everbridge notifications sent out, warning the people of the possibility of those closures and to be prepared. So.
Okay, any questions for Jamie? We didn't introduce Jamie. Jamie Smith is from the County Highway Department.
I do have a question. Who would be the best person? There's a lot that are calling in here asking about that, and we didn't know who the best person would be to address those questions. We've been sending them to Sue, but if that's not who it is, let us know, please.
Both of us work together hand in hand, so they can either reach out to the highway department or to Sue, and we can certainly field those questions.
You want to share phone numbers?
845-8508 or 845-8510.
So that's Carrie and somebody else, or you two?
Well, no, as luck would have it, the superintendent is on vacation in Arizona. He was the smart one, so I'm filling in for him in his absence, as well
Okay.
as Dennis Mortz, our road foreman.
Okay, thanks to all of you folks.
Thank you.
Okay, were there any questions for Jamie? Okay, thanks. Phil? Okay, anything from the electrical department? Scott, is Scott here? Engineering? Okay. Let's see. Okay, we have other entities here today. Anybody have anything you want to share or ask? Boy, what a congenial group. You guys have anything?
Just one thing, that people were told to stay off the dikes. That's not just the clay dikes, that's all dikes. You know, we have to spell this out. If the water is moving up on them and if you fall in, there's little chance you're going to come out alive. Hypothermia will set in quickly. The water's moving fast, and it's really going to be a struggle to get a rescue crew to get you out in time. So don't walk your pets on the dikes, and don't you walk on the dikes. Thank you.
Dick?
Nothing
anything
today.
Gwen, anything final? Just thanks to everybody. Gosh, you did a great job getting ready, and now it's just monitoring and waiting to see what God leaves here for rain, I guess. So, all right, there being no further business, the meeting is adjourned. Thank you.